Divine Vedavyasapriya Swami ISKCON Deputy Founder Acharya Jagadguru Jai Srimad Paramahamsa Parivacharya Srimad Srimad His Divine Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Jai Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srimad Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopalina Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadipnath Dham ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देव की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, समागत भक्त वृंद की जय, पिताय गौर प्रेमानंद। All glories to some devotees, all glories to some devotees, all glories to some devotees, glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 1 and text number 25th and 26th. Agnidra Idmajibha Yajnabahu Mahavira Hiranyaritaha Gritaprastha Savana Medatithi Vitihotra Kavayaha Iti Sarve Eva Agni Namnaha Agni Trishmajva Jihvayagyabahu Mahavira Hiranyareto Dritaprastha Savanamedatithi Vitihutra Kavayaha Iti Sarva Evagni Nam Nama. Agnidra, the name Agnidra, Idmajiva, another name Idmajiva, Yajnabahu, Mahavira, Hiranyareta, Gritaprastha, Savana, Medatithi, Iti, Vitihotra, Kavayaha, Iti, thus, Sarve, all these, Eva, certainly, Agni, of the demigod controlling fire, Namnaha, names. Translation: the 10 sons of Maharaj Priyavrata were named Agnitra, Idmajiva, Yajnabahu, Mahavira, Hiranyareta, Gritaprastha, Savana, Medatithi, Vitihotra, and Kavi. These are also names of Agni, the fire god. Means they are expansions of Agni. They became the 10 sons of Priyavrata. Text number 26. Etesham karma mahavira savana iti traya asanna urdhvaretastas atma vidyayam agarbhavadam arabhya kriti parichayaha paramahumsya vevashramam bhajanam. Etesham, of these, Kavaya, Kavi, Mahavira, Savana, Iti, thus, Traya, 3, Asan, where, Urdhvaretas, completely celibate. They, Atma Vidyaya, in the transcendental knowledge, Arva Bhava, from the childhood, Arabhya, beginning, Krita Parichayaha, very well versed, Paramahamsya, of the highest spiritual perfection of human life. Eva, certainly, ashramam, the order of bhajan executed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Vedavyasapriya Swami Prabhupada. 3 among these 10, namely Kavi, Mahavir and Savana, lived in complete celibacy, thus trained in brahmachari life from the very beginning of childhood. They were very conversant with the highest perfection known as the Paramhamsa ashram. The word Urdhvareta in this verse is very significant. Urdhvareta refers to one who can control sex life and who, instead of wasting semen by discharging it, can use it, most important substance accumulated in the body, to enrich the brain. When one can completely control the sex life, is able to work wonderfully with his brain, especially in remembering. Thus, students who simply hear Vedic instructions once from their teacher could remember them verbatim without needing to read books, which therefore did not exist in former times. Another significant word is Arbha-bhavat, means from very childhood. Another meaning is from being very affectionate to children. In other words, Paramhamsya life is dedicated for the benefit of others. Just as a father sacrifices many things out of affection for his son. Great saintly persons sacrifice all kinds of bodily comforts for the benefit of human society. In this connection, there is a verse concerning the 6 Goswamis. Kyaktva turnamashesha mandalapatim shrenim sadatuchyavat bhuttvadina ganesha kau karunaya kopina kanthavistau. Because of their compassion to the poor fallen souls, the 6 Goswamis gave up their exalted positions as ministers and took vows as mendicants, thus minimizing their bodily wants as far as possible. They each accepted only a loincloth and a begging bowl. Thus they remained in Vrindavan to execute the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by compiling and publishing various Vaishnava literatures. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tatapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sadhujatam Sarvanarunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhadan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishwakantanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Namaste Devi Pranamami Hari Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare. Etesham Kavir Mahavir Sa Ananiti Traya Asana Urdhvaretastat Atmavidyayam Bhavabhava Dara Kruta Parichaya Paramhamsa Mevashmam Bhajanam. Paramahamsa is the 3rd stage of sannyas ashram. In the previous ages, where sannyas was not forbidden, it was a mandatory requirement for those who are Aryas, who have to fulfill 4 purposes of life. First purpose is to understand the dharma, religion. But that religion belongs to Atma, not bodily religions. Dharma, therefore one has to accept a spiritual master. For bodily religions, body fulfillment, you do not require a spiritual master, you require political leaders. You do not require spiritual master for fulfilling your material desires. You require spiritual master. So therefore, Dharma was pertaining to the ultimate occupation of the soul in the service of the Supreme. So Dharma was to be learned in the Brahmachari ashram, and then to understand the transcendental nature, one must be established in the mode of goodness. So one must become subjugated to the rule of the spiritual master. Brahmachari Guru Kule Vasodantam Guru Hitam. For the sake of Guru's pleasure, he has to live. Where he is taught to control all the senses. Prabhupada would say that sometimes, if the Guru forgets some student and won't call them for eating, they will have to fast. So what a discipline was required. All that is meant for simply understanding the eternal occupation of the soul. Yes. So such a strong training was given in Brahmachari. So ultimately they will be able to control the 6 urges directly in service of the Guru, because Guru is connecting into Lord Krishna and he is doing through his medium service to Lord Krishna. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udaropastha vegam. These are the 6 pools or forces of our senses. People want to talk. In the morning the crow says ka ka ka, and every bird start their chirping. Prabhupada said it is simply meant for where is the food, where is the food. Or when it is where is the food is finished, then where is the sex, where is the sex. There is nothing important in that chirping. So Vacha Veda should not be utilized for any other purpose rather than preaching. Preaching should be, however, forceful. So Veda means very force. But if it is not utilized in Krishna's service, in preaching, then it will be utilized in prajalpa. Prajalpa. The mind is simply obsessed in material things, and we keep on talking prajalpa. This gadget, what is called Samsung Galaxy. It is aiding to prajalpa. It should not be utilized. So vacha vegam, vacho vegam, mana, mind is turbulent. It has so many, ideas of accepting and rejecting and keep it busy, but they are all materially motivated. So you cannot easily overcome the mind. Krodha vegam. Krodha means anger. Because every now and then, seemingly we want sense gratification, but all our efforts are futile, and as if the sense gratificatory process is a cheating process. It does not give us any tangible pleasure. So, we get frustrated. We become angry with our own self. And in anger, we lose all the vigor, vitality, the stored energy. One of the important source of stored energy is in rethas, one's own semen. If it is going into gutter so easily, then what is the use? Person will become, even knowledgeable, person will become completely impotent physically as well as mentally as well as spiritually. So, Krodha Veda, better control. Jihva Veda wants to eat all palatable dishes. People eat fish every day in ISKCON, yet they want to eat something else. When it comes to chocolate, they always argue, oh, Prabhupada ate sometime. Oh, it was offered to the deity sometime. Because everybody is wanting, hooked on the taste. So, Jihva Veda, Udara Veda. One gulab jamun is not enough. People quarrel and then make a scene, as in a big war in the kitchen. And Upastha Vega. This is the most formidable enemy. This way one has to control. Unless and until one is properly trained, one cannot control. But Krishna is so kind that even silently he creeps in and makes him impotent. Then he will regret the whole life. Oh my God. Yes. Better we try to control all our senses by engaging properly in solution, Lord Krishna. Then there is no offense. By engaging our senses in service of Krishna, we automatically are controlled. Why? Because control doesn't mean negating the activities, but proposing the activity in favor of Krishna. So, Urdhva Reta means one who has practiced in the brahmachari life, controlling all his senses through the service of the spiritual master. That was the. So he becomes Urdhva Reta. But then, even though he is controlled and well qualified as brahmachari, the Guru may order him to enter into Grahastha because of important activity to make life of dependence Krishna conscious. It's a great responsibility because he has just controlled in brahmachari life his practice. Then with that control continue, he has to fulfill the obligations of Grahastha, not lose sense gratification. Otherwise, he is again going to be frustrated, and frustration means anger, and anger means destruction. So that is the second Purushartha. The Artha. If you want Kama, Artha is needed. Nothing is free. So, You are becoming like an ass or an oxen to be going round and round and round and not come out from that cycle. Unless one is totally disgusted by experience, then he will say to be intelligent. So the life is trained in giving you 4 purusharthas, dharma, artha, kam. The kam is only meant for kamas tinendriya pratirlabho. It is not meant for the desire, even for sex life, is not meant for sense gratification. Not pratirlabho. Jivetayam, as long as you live. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. There was never any other implication just to engage in sense gratification. 7 except to serve Krishna. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was a Naisthiki brahmachari. And yet he would dare to say, if I had to beget children, I will beget 100 children for the sake of Krishna's pleasure and engage them. Just like Krishna, the teaching is 100 sons. My dear sons, Nayam Deha Deha Ajandra Loke Kasatana Kamat Arhate Vidbhujati. My dear sons, wholesale. We have not these bodies, we are the enjoyers of the body. Nayam Deha, na Deha Bhaja. Nirloke, in this human form. Kastana Kama. Kasta means troubles. Kama means the material desires of sense gratification. They are nothing but trouble. But they are being enjoyed by Vidbhujani, easy, without going into any training. Vidbhuj means the stool eaters, hogs and dogs. If such Kastana Kama are easily available to the Vidbhujans, then what is your complaint? Tapo Divyam Putrakaya, my dear sons. Tapo Divyam. Engage into an austerity which provides you the divinity. Not like Hiranyakashipu. He was not divine. He did lot of austerity. His tapa is not called divya. But divya means we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord, who is divya, whose activities are divya, whose name is divya, by engaging our senses into the divine nature of the Supreme Personality of God. Tapo divyamyena putrakayena tasmat dham sokhyam tvananta, by which you will be able to attain the eternal blissful existence. Ananta. What a freedom! We have experience of freedom. Early morning we start getting the experience of what is freedom by going into toilet. It's a great relief. That is freedom. Then now you can do some activity, otherwise the activities will be interrupted and the whole day will be spoiled. Such force of nature is there. It will spoil your game if you don't obey. So get trained up. The material world is not ours. Jail is not belonging to us. Can anybody, any prisoner claim that this is my jail? I like it very much. I will take to it. Jail is not supposed to be owned. So here, the word Urdhvareta is very, very significant. Because out of 10, 3 were very conversant with the principle of pure devotion. They are Kavi, Mahavir and Samana. These 3 sons of Priyavrata, they will be endowed with so many good qualities. They are pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada is telling that Urdhvareta refers to one who can control sex life and who, instead of wasting cement by discharging it, can use this most important substance accumulated in the body to enrich the brain. To enrich the brain. Urdhva means upward, not downward. It has to be absorbed and entered into the brain. So, what is the result of it? That the ultimate aim of the life is to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be easily achieved by it. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. The Shravanam and Kirtan, but at the same time, Archanam, Vandanam, Pujanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanam, they are all supposed to be serving to Smaranam, remembrance. Remembrance out of the 9 processes is the utmost important. Satatam smartavyam Vishnu vismartavyam najanuchit sarva vidhi nishedha syu edayoga kinkara. Indeed, all this process are subservient to the purpose of remembrance of Vishnu. So, Urdhvareta has a direct connection with the remembrance of the transcendental nature. Why? We are keeping Shikha. People are asked, but the first and foremost important aspect of keeping the Shikha is to determine to conserve the simile. Conserve the Urdhvareta. If somebody doesn't understand, then he'll say, okay, it's a flag of Narada, or a devotee called flag. It is fine. But for the Brahma Vidya, or the knowledge of the absolute truth, one observes the celibacy in order that he will remember forever. And he will remind others who are forgiven, because he remembers. So such an important thing cannot be wasted in gutter every now and then. It's a self-responsibility. So thus the student who simply hear the Vedic instructions once from their teacher could remember them verbatim without need to read books, which therefore did not exist in the former times. Nobody required even the books. It's not that nobody was literate. Nobody was literate at that time. Everybody was literate. But literacy comes through hearing and remembering. Our modern day literacy is not real literacy. That even after using the eyes to read the books and everything, still we keep on forgetting. So, this is important. Now, these sons of Agni, they were all expansions of Agni Dev. And Agni Dev is having an important function. To see. Eyes. Yakshakshuresa savita sakalagrahana. In the Virat form, when it was being formulated in meditation of Brahmaji, he saw that when the eyes are being formulated of the Virat Rupa, Agni Dev took the charge of it. They were not manifested. But nonetheless, Virat Rupa was the first one to manifest. So unmanifested living entities who are demigods, they become in charge. We worship Surya Narayan, Savitu Narayan, in order to understand that without his light, we will not be able to see. But what we see is only a reflection, because he is supposed to show us who is the origin. So the word Om is required on the chanting the Savitur Gayatri. Om refers to the Supreme Absolute Truth, Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, addressed through the indirect medium, not direct medium. When you address Krishna, you do not require Om Krishna. No. In our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no Om. There is a direct addressing. Krishna is directly available. But through that, you require Om. That you are not independent. You belong to Om. So now teach me whatever you think you can. Like that. So, Agni Dev takes charge. In the nostrils of Om, then Ashwini Kumars, twins, they take the charge. But they are not manifested. Nonetheless, their presence is ever there. When every living entity, even before material manifestation, they were there. So don't think that it was not through the perception of our eyes we do not see. Krishna says, no, avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mam pabuddhaya. Fools think that I have been manifested from an unmanifested state. No, I am always manifested. But you don't have access to Golok Vrindavan, that's why you do not see it. Therefore, you have to see through my other kinds of eyes, like Chakshu Savita. Yes, Chakshu Resu Savita Sakalutra. So, like that. There is another significant word in this sloka. It's called Arba Bhavat, from very childhood. Arba Bhavat. So, these three were very conversant with the dharmic principles and the purpose behind it. So, they are becoming like very special. Arba Bhavat, which means from the very childhood, but it also means that from the being very affectionate to the children. Who can become real affectionate? These children are supposed to be getting affection from the parents, but their hidden meaning, Arba Bhava, is that they will become such great personalities that they will become compassionate upon the fallen conditioned souls. So who could be more benevolent than them? Like that. So Arba Bhava means from the very childhood, but at the same time, even they became matured in the principles of religion, they chose not to waste their semen. They became perfect sannyas. Means sannyasi's perfection is called paramahamsa. So there are 3 stages that in other ages that was compulsory for every progressive male to take sannyas. That is a Kutichak, Bahudak and Parivrajacharya, and 4th one is Paramahamsa. Right? So you can see they didn't have to get training of Kutichak, Bahudak or Parivrajacharya. Right from the beginning of the childhood, they were on the converse level with Paramahamsa system. So, Srila Prabhupada is giving the connection here that our 6 Goswamis, Rupa Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopal, Asa. So, all these Goswamis were having a high status in social life. But they chose, by the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to come to Vrindavan and live very simple life. And that has been explained, that look how they are compassionate, but they themselves remain completely aloof. That Tyaktva Turnam Ashesha Mandalapatim. Mandalapatim means they were ministers. They gave up that ministerial positions. Training Sada Tuchhavat, such high profile was considered by them insignificant. So give up, easily to be given. Bhuttva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya. Dinesh. Who is a Dinesh? Lord Krishna. Dina Hina Jata Chilo Hariname Uddarilo. The Dinesh. Dina Gana means everybody else in the material life is a Dina Gana. Out of compassion, Karunaya, Kaupina Kantharsta. Their only possession was Kaupin. It's a torn cloth to be tied up in his waist. And Kamandalu. Gopina Kantharstav. So it is for the real compassion on the fallen souls. The 6 Goswamis gave up their positions as ministers and took vows as mendicants. So to take the vow of mendicant means you have to be totally absorbed in service of Lord Krishna through the order of Guru. Otherwise, there is no necessity of taking the sannyas ashram. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj practically followed this and re-established the sannyas ashram. Otherwise, it was a voluntary Babaji position that is giving up. But now Babajis are also getting more sophisticated in attracting people to make their own disciples. Babajis are not meant for making disciples. But anyway, one can take the shelter of a Babaji if at all he wants to be serious in his own bhajan. But then he cannot go and preach outside. He will have to make another settlement somewhere near Govardhan. He cannot preach outside. So we see the position of 6 Goswamis is compared to this position of the great three sons of Priyavrata. They remained in Vrindavan to execute the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by compiling and publishing various Vaishnava literatures. We have to remain in Vrindavan, but we are not under the direct order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write books and this and that. But we have to study their books. Therefore, study of such literatures is more conducive in Vrindavan. Study of Goswami's literature becomes more conducive in Vrindavan. If somebody writes and if somebody studies, the purpose remains the same. That those who have realized will infuse realization into one who studies. So, the purpose of Vrindavan is not to make other arrangements. Girls should not come here to get married, or they should study instead. They should study. The boys should not come here to find girls. This is Vrindavan. Here the situation will be more conducive if we are taking the mood of the Goswamis. Tyaktva Purnam Shesha Mandavati. The purpose of Vrindavan is to get educated. Proper. The facility is given. It is Radharani's desire. So we have to be conversant with the purpose of coming to Vrindavan. So in this verse, these three sons of Priyavrata becomes quite distinguishable from the other 7. They took the Grahasthashram, they took the position of the 7 rulers of the 7 continents. So that is fine. But they would not have come to Vrindavan. Such a situation is prevailing. Then Vrindavan becomes quite distinct place. Then one has required such management of a householder nature. The whole world should be managed by the household. But Vrindavan should be managed only by pure devotional service. When the preachers come to Vrindavan, they should not have much of the paraphernalia. I'm wearing one shawl, one jacket, one sweater. But what can you do? It's a precarious situation. In Kali Yuga, it becomes more distinguishable. But when the Goswamis came, Kali Yuga was there. So we have to become more and more conversant with the purpose for which we are living in. And we will be able to raise our consciousness to the desired life, going to God. Here we find even difficulty in chanting Hare Krishna, even though it is so conducive. Which devotional service can be easily carried out in Vrindavan? Tell me. Flower garlands? Service? Easy. Curing flowers is a difficult in this season. Right? Tulsi. You have to struggle hard to keep Tulsi. Nothing is easy. Emotional service means a voluntary taking austere situation first and dedicate that austerity in service of the devotees. That is galaxies. Prajalpa. So anyway, let's try our best and promote ourselves to the higher realm of Krishna consciousness by understanding this character that Srila Prabhupada is describing in this verse. Anybody has any questions or comments? Take the mic. I don't know.
Hare Krishna. As you told that this one comment that about this mobile phones and all these applications, that these are disturbing in Prajalpa. And one point is that Prabhupada says, I read one letter today, Prabhupada is telling that radio and newspapers, media should be utilized in preaching because we are, Prabhupada says, modern Vaishnavas. But still we see, we are using sometimes internet and Facebook and all that.
That is not preaching medium, it's a Prajalpa medium.
Mind says something, oh, I can use this for preaching purpose. Mind tells these things, so...
Preaching also becomes sensitive activity sometimes. Do you know that? If religion can become entertainment industry, why not preaching can become another? So, man is such a crooked person, envious nature, that he will always interject his own ideology. Stick to the origin, you don't have to change it. That is also a big austerity. I bet you. To keep Srila Prabhupada's words and instructions as it is and follow, it's also an austerity. Very big austerity. What do you think? So, how come we justify? Better than nothing. After all, we have to depend upon Alena Parichya. We have to see what result it is produced. But we can't keep on justifying our activity activity which are even conducted on sub-religious principles to be equated with transcendental activity of Srila Prabhupada. No. You can't keep on equating. It's an excuse. What do you think? Preaching was so much vibrant and spontaneous when these gadgets were not there. I know in 1971, it was very difficult to call to India from USA. We have to go through the operator, and sometimes we have to wait for days to get a line. But yeah, all the activities were being performed. Prabhupada would write letters by hand. You can't. Either you can read through this Facebook.
Maharaj, you are explaining about difference between Bhabajis and sannyasis.
I don't know much. I just get some impression from Srila Prabhupada that they are Bhajananandis, they want to remain aloof, but now they are collecting disciples. So they are forfeiting the purpose of being Babajis. Babajis are collecting disciples. They'll snatch away from ISKCON. So what do you think?
Actually, my question was that why one cannot take the shelter of Bhabajis, or why they should not.
If you want to become a Bhajananandi yourself, then go. Who is preventing you? But unfortunately or fortunately, you have been inducted in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army, so go and fight. Become ghost chanting. That's your purpose. Now why did you join? Become a preacher and go out. Hamare agya guru anantare. It's a blanket quote. Do you need somebody's permission? At level, there is no need. But that is the purpose. It's a preaching movement. It's not a bhajan movement. What do you want to do? Anything else? Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.